Sprunica Elementary School counselor Benjamin White sent this letter home, giving parents the choice to pull their kids out of class for the Black History lessons. The letter went viral on social media. Here's how the superintendent of the school district responded on Twitter. He says, quote, "Earlier this week, unauthorized by Brown County Schools, was released to elementary school families erroneously advising our students and parents that they could opt out of certain instruction regarding Black History Month," close quote. To be clear, the district does not permit students opt out of history lessons, including ones based on historical injustices. We apologize for the confusion caused by the letter and offer our assurances that Brown County Schools is committed to providing an inclusive educational environment for all students and families. Let's start with you, Michael. I'm going to bring back our panel. Michael, Xavier, and Kelly are here to join us with this conversation. Michael, I'm going to start with you. Do you believe the superintendent when they say that they are intending to be inclusive of all history, including ones that center around injustice?
Well, you know, it's interesting that we talk about this topic today because I talked about this last night on the African History Network show. So Sprunica Elementary School is a school of approximately 240 students. The school is 97% white. So the counselor, and I read the memo that the letter that the counselor sent out, Benjamin White, and at the bottom there's a place where parents can sign off to opt out of the Black History Month lesson. The superintendent, Emily Tracy, from looking at the reporting from WTHR Channel 13 there in Indiana, it looks like what she's saying is true. However, I want to see how this matter is fully handled. Okay, I want to see how this matter is fully handled. I don't know. I haven't been able to find out how many parents opted out or if any parents opted out either. I've been looking at reporting from the Washington Post, NBC News, and local reporting from WTHR Channel 13. But this is a crazy story. And there was a counselor who did this, and I haven't been able to find any statements from the counselor why he did this. He referred the news media to Superintendent Emily Tracy.
And Kelly, when you hear what's going on, I mean, this seems to us, can keep in mind, Ohio is set to pass 3 anti-CRT bills. And we already know, we've done it, we're here. CRT is not being taught in K through 12 education. It's really just a facade to keep folks away from being honest, a reckoning of the United States history. Given all the details that Michael just put before us, is your takeaway anything other than they were trying to shield these white students from the truth about the country they call home?
That's interesting that you say shield. I don't know if it's shield so much as just be in denial about it. Because I don't even know if they know what the history is, right? I think people, white people specifically, are so afraid of the truth that they are willing to do whatever it takes to just not showcase it, not to bring it to light. And we've seen this in our history, ironically. I mean, most recently, not that I've recently learned it, but most recently, a lot of us learned just how far legislation and legislators in Oklahoma tried to hide the Tulsa race massacre for, almost centuries, plural. Literally stripped it out of history books, forbade it to be spoken about on a communal level. So, I mean, you have that with Tulsa, with Rosewood, with Seneca Park in New York. And it's not necessarily about shielding so much as it is burying. Like, they just do not want to talk about it because we have this facade of whiteness that is good, that is pure, that is, the standard. And when you start dismantling the pedestal that they put themselves on, people get shook about it. So I understand just from an objective perspective why they would not want the truth to come out. But I don't think it's shielding so much as it is burying and frankly just being in denial about what has really gone on in this country.
Xavier, you have some experience in your background and spend time up in the Chicagoland area, very familiar with the Midwest. So often folks hear about these kind of stories and assume that it's something from the South. Can you speak to the audience a little bit about how some of these pervasive ways of historical negligence about anti-Black sentiment and an unwillingness and uninterest to engage the fullness of the American story, particularly regarding Black people, also thrives in the Midwest just as much as it would in the South or other places?
Yeah, great question. The Great Migration that many African Americans chose to come from the South to make a better life for themselves. And I think that's part of the narrative we're also missing here. We all grew up with the kings and queens of Africa all over in our classrooms, the various calendars depicting the different accomplishments of African Americans, the inventions, and things of that nature. The statement by the district was about injustices, but it basically assumes that African Americans were only enslaved and fought in civil rights, when African Americans have contributed to the greatest advances in Western civilization, and also prior to in 1619, as Rihanna Jones liked to call it, but there was history of Black accomplishment in the world prior to coming over here to America as enslaved people. And so there's also contribution to art and to architecture and to music. There's so many different things that are richness of the Black experience that we've given this world. And it's worth teaching in the classroom to young kids just as much as teaching injustices.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think it's important that all of our viewers make sure they know that and take away.
Backdrop Roland Martin Uncultured video in just one moment.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punching!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am rolling with Roland all the way.
Honored to be on a show that you own. A Black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Wow, Roland was amazing on there.
Stay Black. I love y'all.
I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?